Shalom Israel, first and foremost, all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of the house of David. Salutations to you brothers throughout the four corners of the earth, teaching the truth in righteousness and sincerity. To you Israelite foreigners, come back home to the truth. To those that passed on serving the Lord, the dead in Yahweh Shai shall arise first. All right, throw this back on because I'm not praying nor prophesying. It's kind of embarrassing me being an Israelite and being called an elder to admit this, but yesterday, March 3rd, 2021 was the first time in my life that I've seen the movie Enemy of the State with Will Smith, Gene Hackman, and a bunch of other actors. Those two being the top two, right? And also Lisa Bonet. I think she's technically one of the higher ups among actors and actresses in that movie. So I posted on social media that it was a great movie, despite the fact that it's bullshit. Who's going to take on the government the way this guy did, even if by accident, and live? Look at how they was coming at him, and he had information he didn't even know he had. He didn't even know he had this information in his clutches. Now, this is just a movie. But keeping it real, when you pay attention to the movie, that's real life. That's the type of shit that they on when somebody has an advantage over the government where they can actually, cause shit to happen. Damning information that can actually hurt the government. The reason why a lot of these conspiracy theorists are alive and don't get fucked with like that? A lot of these conspiracy theorists don't know. See, a lot of us think we know. We don't know. And I'm going to explain to you what the difference is between knowing the way I'm referring to and knowing the way we know certain things, right? I know for a fact, well, it's out there. Greg Kading knows who shot Tupac and Biggie. He actually knows. He can tell you who shot Tupac and Biggie, who's responsible and everything. He has all the facts. But he can't prove it in the court of law. He doesn't have it's one of those things where if you look at the situation with pure common sense, if you look at the situation and add 2 and 2, it's going to equal 4. He knows who shot Tupac and Biggie, but he cannot convict them because there's probable cause. Not probable cause. There's reasonable doubt, even though the reasonable doubt is completely, stupid. Like the actual, in order to actually doubt it, you'd have to be a fucking idiot. But because the doubt exists, there is a possibility, physically, that the people he says shot Tupac and Big didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? He can't prove it in the court of law. But if you actually look at the situation with common sense, you see, you just see what it is. It's clear as day to him, and he even wrote a book about it. So the way this is with the government, right? You can know a lot of shit. You can interview whoever the fuck you want, Illuminati detractors, but there's also so much misinformation. The government covers their fucking tracks. So you can know for sure that there's a conspiracy, but you cannot prove it beyond a shadow of a doubt, beyond a reasonable doubt. So what happened today, I guess sometime between last night when I fell asleep and this morning, a friend of mine, he's a good friend of mine, not going to take anything away from the friendship, but he tries to debate me and say, oh, well, you know, you can have the goods on the government like that and live. Because my other friend posted and also, well, he actually posted before him and said that it is possible. So I'm like, name somebody. So my other friend comes in and says, and I played chess with these two brothers. I played chess. I already knew that they were going to go with Snowden. So I said, who actually has had this damning type of information on the U.S. government and lived in America? Like, who actually was able to stay in America, live in America, and sit there and watch fucking TV like everything's normal? Like Will Smith did at the end of Enemy of the State. You show me somebody that was able to do that shit and live a normal life in the United States of America. You know, this nigga gonna say Snowden. So I'm like, I cut his ass right away. Snowden lives in Russia, nigga. Edward Snowden moved to Russia. Stupid ass fucking Arab. Salat. Somebody cut me off. But it's funny how we whatever the hell race he was, I was gonna say something about it. This is how we are a lot of times as people. But anyway. So but yeah, this guy gonna say Snowden. So I'm like, well, no, Snowden lives in Russia. So I said, you want to talk about people that have gotten a one-up on the government or have basically taken real action against the government? Look at I told them, look at Ruby Ridge. Ruby Ridge was an incident that happened in Idaho where a guy was supposed to come in to court because they were basically telling him he couldn't have the type of weapons that he had, and he didn't go to court. They came and killed his whole family. Look it up, Ruby Ridge. What was the other one I told him? I forgot. I told him two. Oh no, I also told him Fred Hampton. Fred Hampton stood up against the government. He got killed. The Black Panthers stood up against the government. Their leaders got killed. Their schools were shot up. They were set up. A lot of them were set up. This shit ain't a game. You go up against the government, nigga, you gonna take losses. We don't take that lightly here. You know, we're not going against the government per se. You know, we're teaching the Bible. We're not actually, you know, taking up arms. We're not, you know, hurting anybody physically. We're just out there teaching the word of God. You know? I'm trying to remember who the hell I hit him with, because that was a beautiful one. Somebody else that went against the government and got killed. Oh, William Cooper. He wrote Behold a Pale Horse. So this nigga's response to that is, oh, these people you're mentioning were trying to spread information about the government. Will Smith didn't even have didn't even know he had the information in his possession. So again, he cut himself by saying something that's not true. Ruby Ridge is not a person. Ruby Ridge is an incident. If you want to look at the person, it's Randy Weaver. But this is a friend of mine, so like I said, I'm not sitting here, cursing him out or whatever. I'm just saying, you're gonna say something. Don't just. One thing that our people especially have the balls to do is you debate when you're wrong. Why do you debate when you're wrong? This nigga don't know what the fuck or who the fuck a Ruby Ridge is. He might know Waco, Texas. That's another one. They try to take on the government. It didn't end well for them. Who's allowed to go against the United States government and really have something on them and live a regular life in the United States of America? Edward Snowden comes to America, he can probably be put to death. He probably can be put to death in Russia. I'm pretty sure that nigga's not in Russia right now watching TV like it's normal. Assata Shakur, a so-called Black Panther, supposedly killed a state trooper. She is the person that has been the longest on the FBI most wanted list. She's in Cuba right now. And if I were her, I would watch my back at all times. This is a woman that probably is too old right now to hurt anybody. Probably can't pull a trigger. And they still want her. You're not going to live a comfortable life coming up against the U.S. government if you have something that they can't explain away or something that's hardcore evidence about something they've done. All the people, all the conspiracy theorists, we know, but we don't know. We know through common sense and logic, but we can't prove it in a court of law. Think about it. Really think about what I'm saying before y'all become demons and start talking shit. We cannot prove in a court of law that the United States government is doing a tenth of what we say they're doing. And that's the reason why we are alive right now. A lot of us. For now. Whatever the government, whatever information you know about the government, that's what they let out. That's what they let out. Nobody has real information against the U.S. government and is sitting here walking around, just normal. You went against the government and you got all these government agents to shoot each other, to get into a shootout with the mafia. Right. You believe that shit, nigga? You believe that's even possible? Them niggas is 10 steps ahead of niggas. You're not going to outsmart them like that. And even if that's the case, you don't think they have a whole nother group that's going to come at you and kill you? These people will come and look what they did to Fred Hampton. They came in Fred Hampton's house and shot him. You think and this is just the FBI. This ain't even counting the CIA, who's even more higher up, the NSA. These people ain't fucking playing games with y'all, man. You think it's really easy or possible to go up against the U.S. government with something real? Like I have, like as if I had videotape of some, look at the Zapruder film, man. They made sure to snatch. If you have evidence, period, about any crime, they're gonna snatch that shit up. Let alone They can subpoena that. They can take that shit from you, man. What do they do to people? What do they do to people that they accuse of committing cyber crimes? They take their fucking computer. They take their hard drives. And these are people that are accused of cyber crimes. Doesn't have to be doesn't have to be something that they knocked off money from people. Pedophiles get their fucking computers and their hard drives taken. What do you think they'll do to you if you had something real on them? Think about it, man. Before you make a comment, because you know what? A lot of Israelites do that shit too, man. You don't be knowing shit, but then sit here and want to debate with people. I've seen it happen where Israel be wrong as hell, but they damn sure make it look. I remember the baby Hebrew one time was arguing with a dude, and he said that to kill 6 million Jews, you would have to kill 100,000 people a day. And some Edomite or some so-called white man said your math is off. And his math is off. What's 100,000 people a day? In 10 days you kill 1 million. Right? 10 days you kill 1 million. Am I wrong? No. 100,000 times 10 is 1 million. You multiply 10 days by 60 days, it takes 60 days to kill 6 million people. Is basically what that math was talking about. But this guy was like, oh yeah, genius? And I'm talking about baby Hebrew was up there saying, oh yeah, genius? Stop being strong wrong, man. Do not get into a debate with an intellectual if you can't prove what you're talking about. Don't do that shit, man. Leave that shit to the people who know what they talking about. I can tell you what happened at Ruby Ridge. So when I told this guy, I want to see what his life. He responded already, because while I was doing this recording, I saw that he responded. He's my friend. Like I said, it's not going to be I'm not going to curse him out and be like, you fucking dumb asshole. You know, but, excuse my language, by the way. But I'm going to tell him straight up, yo, bro, you shouldn't have done that, man. Like, I already told him, don't debate if you don't know what you're talking about. It's not going to end well. All right, so with that, I'm going to say shalom.